Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Scott Nugent. You're going to be like, hey, who the heck is that person? Well, Scott Nugent is a 47-year-old transgender man and trans father living in Texas. Is the founder of Three Voices, a group of trans educators who oppose radical gender activism and seek to educate politicians and families about the reality of gender dysphoria.
My name's Scott Nugent. I'm a lesbian and I'm a trans man. But my most important role is that of a parent to three incredible children. I'm a mother, a woman who has given birth and carried life. I'm here today to put an end to the idea that medically transitioning children is about human rights. It is not. It's about money. Market research predicts that gender-affirming care will generate more than $5 billion a year in less than a decade. The truth is that medical transition is experimental, dangerous, and it doesn't cure anything. In fact, your question, there's only 7 studies that stated that medically transitioning children is beneficial, and every single one of them has either been modified with not enough time or participants or, oops, we were sorry.
Yeah.
Yet these are the pamphlets and the studies that are still given to parents currently. And of course, society doesn't know that because you don't cover it. We now have children's hospitals all over Europe halting and banning all childhood medical transition, calling it the worst medical scandal in modern history.
That is just like Tavistock in UK. It was totally shut down because they realized they weren't actually checking the kid. Oh, you want to do this? Hey, just do it. Let's go. When they did the investigation, they were like, hey, people, you guys are just destroying kids. And they shut it down. And they asked a professional, why is it not happening in USA? Because they just started. And Joe Biden is promoting it. That is why. Soon it's going to hit hard. Who they going to blame? Conservative again.
Yet here in the United States, we have bigots everywhere. We have transgender people. We have gays and lesbians trying to talk. And people that are not trans and not gay and lesbian are calling us bigots. I underwent close to $1 million worth of surgeries and hormone therapies to change from Kelly to Scott, a trans man. And then
I don't think even this is so accessible to poor people. Now guess what? Imagine if the government is like, we're going to be empathetic. We're going to use taxpayers' money to help you out.
I almost died in the process. And I certainly have cut many, many years off of my life. In fact, I probably won't live long enough to meet my grandkids because I still, to this day, get recurring infections. Nobody knows why. But again, 95% of all medical transition is experimental, except for top surgery. We have no idea what's going to happen to these kids because it's never been studied.
Yeah.
But we are seeing early onset osteoporosis. We are seeing hearts and lungs the size of 12-year-olds.
I mean, if your body is changing, it needs estrogen and testosterone the normal way, so it can modify with time, right? It's like you need that in your teens or whatever to change your body. And this is a person that's in their 40s, okay? But they do it even when you're young, so it messes up your body anyway.
And if you couple that with the only long-term study that followed these transgender people for 30 years in Sweden, Sweden is the leading country for transgender medicine. 2 months ago, they halted and stopped all medicalization of children. Do you know why? Well, there's a documentary that you won't find here in the United States, but they're finding something in addition. Girls' spines are not fusing together properly while on puberty blockers. We have 15...
Yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of people walking like a hunchback. Imagine that. As if they did not have enough after such operation and everybody is talking about the positive thing. I'm like, you need to spend time with this. I mean, just imagine all the people using plastic surgery to look a specific way, and with time the body totally changed and you're like, what the heck happened to your lips? Remember that? That's on the outer layer. Imagine they're putting things in your blood, puberty blockers and all this stuff. Hey people, you have no idea what you're doing. Because nobody has done this before. Nobody can just show me, hey, we did this, this, this. This person has survived more than 10 years and they're amazing. It doesn't exist. They don't have examples.
18-year-olds walking like this for the rest of their lives. And they won't live past 30. But you say he's a bigot.
I'm a bigot.
You see, I tried to kill off my female self because I was sold a lie. I was sold that I was actually a man trapped in a woman's body. That my masculine traits and my strong personality were proof that I was really a man. I was told that all my pain and self-loathing would magically disappear. If only I pumped my body with testosterone, removed my breasts, and altered my genitalia.
If these people would have found me when I was a little kid, they would think I'm a woman. Definitely, 100%. And I would have fallen into that pit because I was so insecure, looking for motherly love, and I would have done anything to be your friend. I actually liked people that hated me because attention is something, because I didn't get any. Imagine being a super movie star, just becoming a trans woman. And suddenly, everybody's like, you were right 4 years ago. I'm like, duh. I guess I was too intelligent to speak properly to convince you. But hey, I guess people had to suffer so you will notice it.
I was tricked at 42, at a vulnerable place.
42.
One day I thought, God, maybe I'm born in the wrong body. I was married to a woman who just despised being a lesbian. And one comment of maybe I was born in the wrong body. Next week, I was sitting in front of a trans woman therapist who asked me, how long have you been dressing like a man? At 42, that sentence has changed the trajectory of my life. You guys don't seem to understand that I'm not going to meet my grandkids.
He's damaged.
Because of this crap. And you call him a bigot. You see, I was perfect just the way I was. If only I was told, and we tell girls, because it's happening to girls way more than boys, is that there is no one way for a woman to be a woman. And there's no one way for a man to be a man. Why don't we start affirming that it's okay to be who they are?
Yeah, but just a little different. Of course, as masculine man and feminine woman, I can understand that. But you need to be able to accept your body the way it is. You had an unlucky draw. Try to deal with it, because you can still find the same amount of love if you can find a person that can see that in you. That's the mission. Not changing yourself to try to meet that person at such a level. I would never tell somebody that, hey, try this. But this is the option that you might win if you win the lottery. That's why I get pissed when people talk to my son behind my back.
No. What we're doing is we're pushing a medical process. That if a child gets on it at 14 and lives to 85, that generates $1.5 million in synthetic hormone. Did you guys get that? That doesn't even cover complications. It doesn't cover surgery.
Yeah.
And yet you call him a bigot. And you don't talk to me. You show all of the people, trans women are real women.
I don't want to laugh.
We need to let children have the time to learn to love their natural bodies.
One thing that people keep forgetting is this. When you block your puberty, it's just like a movie that you're watching through that time and you just turn the screen off. Okay? You stop it. You don't see the movie. And then when you turn it on, you just see the last few minutes. The last few minutes is the only time your body is going to keep on growing. So if you stop your puberty and you reach 25 and you quit, you can't expect any changes because your body doesn't even know how it has to react because it's already 25. That's why they're talking about certain people have lungs too small because they didn't grow, hearts too small, they didn't grow, brains too small, they didn't grow. And they're like, hey, there's something weird about this, that we're damaging kids permanently in a way that we cannot even fix it. No wonder your back is going to be like, oh man, I can hold the bones. Oh my God, I gonna cringe, look like hunchback.
and embrace their differences. Because the truth is that the kids that are wanting to medically transition are the most vulnerable parts of our society.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones that are same-sex attracted. This bigot, he's trying to protect gays and lesbians, future gays and lesbians, but you call him a bigot. They are children that are mentally gifted. They are children that have ADHD.
Autism.
They are children that are mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
They are all the kids that don't belong. You're robbing that time that they need to gain a thick skin. Because at 25, being different, how many sane people have done anything major in this world? They're all different people. But you don't realize that until you're a CEO at 25. You're stealing that from them.
Yeah.
With gender interventions, there are no takebacks. Puberty blockers are not merely a pause button. In fact, the corporation that's telling you puberty blockers are safe, that generates and produces all that puberty blockers that they say is a pause, it doesn't hurt.
They sue them.
In 2003, they were sued by the U.S. government, deemed a criminal enterprise for false advertising and bribery.
Makes sense now?
They paid $874 million like that. The biggest payout at the time. More.
And Biden is just promoting it in your face. And people are gobbling it up like an idiot because, look, I support something, give me my moral points. It pisses me off. I'm not a helicopter parent. But this is making me a helicopter parent, especially because I have a son that has like autism and I don't want him to feel excluded. I spend time with him. So I'm sure that he can be happy that he's different before anybody puts something in his head.
The biggest payout at the time. More than Oxycontin at the time. This is a company that doesn't have the money to run studies on puberty blockers for children? Or is it that they know there is no doctor in the world that would sign on it that it's safe?
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you for not covering him and me. In fact, Lupron has over 10,000 complaints.
Lupron, by the way, is what they give actually pedophiles. If you put it in the body, it will actually lower the amount of testosterone and estrogen, and it sterilizes you. So your pee just stops working. Just mentioning that, hey, I've heard that you were giving people in prison this, suddenly they don't want to talk about it anymore.
From children that use them as precocious puberty. Testosterone, it's not reversible. Her son, 4 months on estrogen, and he might not be able to have babies at 14 because you won't cover it, and you call him a bigot.
Mm-hmm.
I asked this question. Are you really going to put stock in the AAP that follows WPATH, which is supposedly the baseline for care? An entity that not only accepts, pushes the idea that units is a gender for minors. An agency that is supposed to be the baseline for care has never held up in any court of law anywhere. Yet you won't cover it and you call him a bigot.
I think a lot of people are so afraid to be called out a phobic person, right? And I find it rather weird that such a small percentage of society has so much power over the rest. I think this is the only age where we have so many people that self-diagnose themselves and the therapist needs to accept it, right? It makes no sense. Now imagine how many people that have mental health issue, especially because of everything that changed in COVID, people locked inside, now they need to feel validated in a society that everybody likes. You know, it's like you add this puzzle and you just see a horror movie.
So I ask that you do the hard thing today. I know this is your industry, and God forbid, if you step outside of your
orbit,
your house, your family, your Republican, Democrat, conservative, Republican, and do the right thing. But if you do, I'll tell you one thing. You will be called a bigot.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't get it anymore.
But those bigots in history will go down as heroes.
Thank you.
So are you in the media that can save these kids? Are you going to do the right thing and cover and investigate and ask questions and interview everybody? Or are you just going to sit there and record?
I didn't want to laugh, but the sound of the voice is just extra. But that's how you cope. Because maybe he wanted to cry. You know? I can't judge a person that's jokingly doing something at his worst moment. I respect that. And I hope you get the idea what I'm trying to send with this video. Because it makes no sense. We're going to have a generation of a lot of people mutilated. And nobody is going to be responsible. Amen. I would say just follow the money. It's weird. Just follow the money. So all I ask you, I want this video to reach as many people as possible if you can. Share it. Send it to people. Send it to friends. Like, comment, do all the stuff mumbo jumbo, subscribe. Because we live in such a unique world right now that I was silent. I blame myself for that. But I reached a point that I'm like, if I'm a Christian or not, if you don't see the damage that is being done to kids right in front of you and you're silent, I'm not going to be your part of the problem. I'm just asking you, help.